The 2019 annual operating budget for the New Orleans Police Department is just over $192 million, making it the most expensive departmental expenditure in the city's annual billion-dollar budget. But for that expense, are you happy with the NOPD's presence? In this week's Bizcast, business reporter Leslie joins us to share the latest approval statistics.
According to the New Orleans Crime Coalition's recent survey, 54% of New Orleans residents are satisfied with the NOPD's overall performance. It's a 1% drop compared to the 2018 survey results, but overall, a majority of resident satisfaction remains high and much higher than the initial 33% approval rating back in 2009 when they first started the survey. Here's a closer look at the results.
The third quarter results are in, and the NOPD found that murders are down 29% compared to 2018, armed robberies are down 30%, and simple robberies are down 23%. But did that translate into high approval ratings for the police department? The New Orleans Crime Coalition survey, its 15th since 2009, is a randomized, representative, independent survey designed to track trends over time in how New Orleans residents view the New Orleans Police Department. The results released this month show 73% of respondents say that the NOPD employees they encountered were pleasant and courteous. 72% of respondents say they feel safe in their own neighborhoods. 19% said they did not, and 9% did not have an opinion. In terms of the NOPD culture, 62% say they believe the NOPD culture has improved, compared to 30% who did not. 61% of respondents say that they were confident with how the NOPD manages tensions during interactions with members of the community, compared to 32% who were not. And 59% of those surveyed say they are satisfied with police performance in their own neighborhoods. 28% were not, and 14% did not have an opinion.
New Orleans Police Department reps say continued reductions in violent crime are a testament to the hard work and dedication by the men and women of the NOPD, and that the police force continues to build on the momentum from last year when New Orleans recorded 146 murders, the lowest number since 1971.
All right, Leslie, thanks so much. You can read more about this topic and other local business stories and see Leslie's Bizcast videos at bizneworleans.com.